This Champions League Matchday 4 picks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5, get $100 in bonus funds. Sign up with the promo code PLGP. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Mal and Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Monday, the 3rd of November. It's my mother's birthday. Happy birthday, Mary. And we are here to have a look around the Premier League weekend, which finished about 40 minutes ago. Before we get stuck into Champions League Matchday 4 action over Tuesday and Wednesday night. Joining me from somewhere in Nottinghamshire is Mr. Barry Penaluna. Barry, how the hell are you?
Good evening. I'm slightly better than I was yesterday. Of course, we were going to try and put this out on Sunday, weren't we?
Yeah.
Given there are games on Tuesday, and I've got an early Tuesday one here, but I think both of us reached the opinion that we couldn't be bothered to talk about football yesterday, could we?
It wasn't just us, because I've since, well, obviously I spoke to my father. I went out to see my mother for her birthday, and my dad wasn't interested in that. As soon as I got through the door, I had like 1 foot in the house. How shite were we yesterday, by the way? When did they start playing walking football? So my father was into me before I'd taken my shoes off. I spoke to Simmers on the phone this morning. He had a shouting match with his missus as a result of how bad we were. I think it tipped a lot of people over the edge yesterday, but we did grunt at each other over message. Do you want to do the show tonight? No, can't be asked. And I just put agree, and we left it for another 22 hours. But it was, horrible bad. Go on.
It was it's ridiculous, isn't it? How it can just ruin a weekend entirely, completely fucking spoil the day.
It just feels like I've spoiled the rest of the football weekend now. I know people like it. See, and I get it. Lots of people listen who support other teams. And I listen to other shows and the Schadenfreude. I love listening when their teams have got beat. That's why we go on Goldbridge and that did it. So we laugh at that baldy Irish mong. Hawksby and Jacobs on a Monday when Chelsea have got beat. I love tuning in for the 1 o'clock run. And that's how it works, so I get it. I've put Newcastle in the eye catchers for just those reasons. So we will get to them in a little bit. But that was horrible. Anything else going on, Buzz?
Otherwise, I had a good weekend, to be honest. I had another night out gigging, wasn't I? I was up in Sheffield, went to watch a band called the Royston Club, who were very good. Really, really enjoyed that. More football. Chloe was refereeing all weekend, so I've watched 4 games of her refereeing football.
Nice.
And 1 game of the youngest playing football. So I've taken in 5 games of grassroots football. Tried to take in another one. I went around to watch the local men's team, Binghamtown Football Club. Went down. They always kick off at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I thought I'll go around at 3 o'clock. I'll watch the second half. And I got there and they'd just walking off the pitch full time. Turns out I had the kick-off time wrong. They'd kicked off early. 1 o'clock kick-off and I turned up at full time.
What happened to I worked at a footballer's house again on Friday night, Barry. I got the call up late. Not as glamorous, but I'm going to give everyone a few clues. If anyone, this level hard this is. Which footballer's house was I at on Friday? Level hard. Not as glamorous, but I'm going to give you the bio, and then any of the readers can guess. And I'll probably forget to read it out at the end, so I'll try and remember. So what I'll tell you about this footballer is, Barry, 2 caps for Scotland. Okay, I'll give you that. And then I'm going to give you the bio, and I'll give you the number of games they played for each club, if it was a significant amount. If it wasn't, I'll just give you the name of the club. So, Barry, 2005 to 2011, Coisty might be in here, because Coisty's our Rangers fan here. 05 to 2011, 131 appearances for Aberdeen, right? We then go Kilmarnock. If you live in this country. This player has played at a football club near you. At some point, he's lived near you, definitely. There's no way he hasn't lived near you. So we go from Aberdeen, Kilmarnock, Derby County, Portsmouth, Sheffield Wednesday, Coventry City, Rotherham, Oxford United, 63 appearances, Bury, Sunderland, 101 appearances, Lincoln City, Ayr United, Eastleigh. Finished last season having made 84 appearances for Eastleigh and retired. Barry, who's that player? You've got absolutely no chance.
I've got no idea. I mean, the 100 games for Sunderland.
That was the key because so I was working on Ramside Hall Estate, which is attached to the Ramside Hall, the big spa and golf club, in the very big posh houses. So it was the Sunderland link. But
I'm struggling. I'm assuming it's going to be a Scotsman, given how much time he's spent up there.
2 caps for Scotland, Baz. Clues are there.
Well, of course, that isn't the thing. Forgot about that bit. Proper journeyman, like. He's been around, hasn't he?
I couldn't. I'm questioning TV's Pete Graves on Saturday morning, and even he couldn't get the answer. And he literally lives his whole life with all these players. If anyone does know, Danny's an Aberdeen fan. He didn't even know. It was dog shit, though. I don't care if you're a footballer and how much money you've got. His party was rubbish. I spent 3 hours dealing roulette to 11-year-old boys. Holy shit, Danny at middle has got the right answer. Fucking hell. Sure points for Danny.
That's because
he's a Mac. Aberdeen Sunderland crossover. Right in your sweet spot, that, Danny. The answer was Chris Maguire. 5 sure points. Barry will send you a £5 note in a card. That's quite incredible. Well done, Danny. Chris Maguire was the answer. Anyway, the bloke's got no crack at all. So his party was boring. The other thing that's happened over the weekend, which has relevant mainly to me, and I've just been talking to Danny about it actually, was that the MLB season finished, the World Series finished at the weekend. So for 2 reasons that affected me. A, I got my life back because I woke up on Monday. I was like, what am I going to do today? Because I spent all my week concerning myself with the MLB gambling podcast. There's 15 games a day. There's 162 games a season. We crank the show out 6. Well, in fact, we send out 8 shows a week because they do 2 propcasts. So we do 8 shows a week on it. And just to get some time back was absolutely incredible. However, also, I don't know, are you aware of anything that's happened, did it, Baz? Did it get on your radar a little bit?
No, I mean, you told me they were up against it and had to win the last 2 on the road.
The Dodgers, yeah.
For your bet.
Yeah.
So, I knew that much. I did say it went a long way in the last game, didn't it?
I think it was the single most exciting sporting event I've ever watched. Going back. No, Barry, you can shake your head. You can't shake your head. Anyone who watched it, any of our American or Canadian listeners, Danny's in Toronto. I put it up against World Cups, FA Cups, any other sport you've watched, the Cricket World Cup. I'm just trying to think of things when they beat New Zealand, that was good. Any other darts or racing or whatever it was. This 7-game series, Barry, had absolutely everything. It had the equivalent of last-minute equalisers being usurped by last-minute winners. It just had absolutely everything sport could have. It was fucking amazing. I sat up till extra innings, 2 of the 7 games. So I sat up till 7 o'clock in the morning one night and then 4 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. And it was just astonishing. Joe will tell you, what did Joe Cash's Yamamoto MVP at 9-1? Ernie Clement most sits at 14s. So yeah, we did well on the show, but it was just brilliant. I don't know what sport, what event would have to go something to beat that. So anyway, I can fully focus in on the football now, Baz. I'll have a little rundown of our picks. College basketball tips off this week. Make sure to subscribe to the College Experience, the daily podcast. Download the SGPN app for free college basketball picks. I went 5-5, Barry. I started great. This was the stupid thing. On Saturday afternoon, there was 5 3:00 kickoffs, wasn't there? The 3 home favourites that we all said were traps all won and covered handicaps. 2-0, 3-0, 3-0, wasn't it? Fulham, Palace and Brighton all won and covered. I'd taken Arsenal -1 first half at a 7-4, which was a great bet. And then I had Forest So Forest are 2-1 up with 6 minutes left, and I'm sitting 5 for 5. Man United scored a great goal, got no problem with it. So I'm 4 out of 5, and then that's when it then went completely the other way. And it was Tottenham and Villa I thought were really disappointing. Because I think them two performances would have knocked a hole in loads of bets. Not just my picks. If you had any kind of goals, both teams to score over 2.5, like bet builders that you relied on end-to-end exciting. Tottenham and Villa's performances were fucking pathetic. I think they completely goosed that. So I was then back to 4 and 3. Newcastle then completely laid a dog egg on Sunday. So I was 4 and 4. Manchester City got me back ahead with the over 3.5 goals. Great price, 11-8, plus 137 at cash by the hour. And I picked Everton. No, I didn't. I picked Sunderland tonight, so the mush worked. I actually ended up having a 10-run 1-all tonight at 5-1. So I was happy with that. Cheeky little 60 quid. So 5 and 5 for 10.7 units, Baz. My luck record has been good. What was my luck? Oh, Brighton to win. And Dave was in the winner's circle. He's back, Barry. Over 2.5 goals and Brighton v Leeds. He liked it, didn't he? Was he giving us 63% or some dog shit? So Dave is back in the winner's circle. 8 and 2 for Dave. Well done, Dave. Baz, you finished 4 and 6, I think. Yeah, we got a couple of little highlights in there.
Mediocre for me. I mean, the Fulham Brighton ones were just absolute gifts in the end, weren't they? Both finished 3-0. And as I say, I talked about Palace being the other one, but then I pivoted against that. I went Brentford, made that was a big error for me. And unfortunately, that let me hack it down because that should have been the corned beef pie hack out was the obvious choice. But I chucked in Fulham, Brighton, and the final one for me was Newcastle. So waited all the way to Sunday for them to let down my hacker as well. The City game was fine. I took the both teams to score and over 2.5, so that was easy enough. The other one was Arsenal win 0. Just cash that one every week at the moment. The highlights again, my luck hit. You took Brian, I took Fulham as my luck. And my scorer took Jacob Murphy, hit that one early on. 5-2 anytime, 15-2, plus 750 for first scorer, Jacob Murphy. So that was a nice one.
That was very much the highlight. It was all downhill after that, wasn't it, for Newcastle? But I did giggle when that one went in. I've just checked the prediction league and they haven't updated it yet. So we will update that on Thursday when we do the show picks. Got a couple of eye catches we can have a little look at in a sec. Let me tell you first about mybookie.ag, your place to bet on football and everything else. The prop builder is second to none. The motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. Easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. I've just read out where it says highlight a bet you like on MyBookie. I'll highlight a bet that we like on MyBookie a little bit later on. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN or indeed PLGP. And we're brought to you by Novig, America's #1 sports prediction market. Available in 35 plus states. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. I went full Ron Burgundy there, Baz. Just reading out any fucking words that was written on that screen. Doesn't bother me. Who's in the chat? We haven't said hello to. Who's first in? Danny was first in. Joe Dollar. Fefwef's here. How we doing? Coisty. Francis G. Courtney's here. We got a new name down here as well. Matthew, up the Palace. Yeah, don't mind that. Hello, Matthew. Nice to have you. And Harry Doherty, Chelsea. Yeah, we're going to get onto that in a minute, Harry. That emoji. Eye catches. Because I did think it was a pretty standard weekend. Liverpool somehow got back to winning ways. I didn't see that. I was out Saturday night. And because I was in a mood on Sunday, I then haven't caught up with a load of it. Man United was pleased to see them not win again. But yeah, Arsenal won as you'd expect. Man City won as you'd expect. Those three home favourites all won as you'd expect. We'll start off with Newcastle because people do like it when Newcastle get beaten. We have to talk about it. But we did say it, Baz. We did sit here and say, well, I said 2 weeks ago, next time I see them walk out the tunnel with that fucking green kit on, I'm going to put my face through the window because And it's not the kid's fault. It's a symptom. It gives me fucking PTSD. It's a symptom of us being shit in it for the last 3 years. I just, here we go again. And by the way, it's going to happen next week against Brentford. Anyone who's listening to this show, and isn't making money on fading Newcastle away from home, I don't know what you're fucking doing. You should in no way be listening to what me and Barry say. We've got Newcastle at home, we can handicap very well. And actually, so can you, because it's all really easy. Newcastle away from home is always really easy, but me and Barry have to try and find a way to factor them in. But you don't. All you people at home, you should be making fucking fortunes. Inexplicable and boring. That was another level of dog shit yesterday, Baz. And what makes it more unforgivable for me is that they'll turn up on Wednesday and beat Bilbao 3, and they'll be brilliant. And they'll all be running around, yanking their shorts off and pulling their hair out when we've won a throw-in. Well, where was all that yesterday? Nick Pope can get the seat. 3 things a goal he has to do. Stop shots, catch crosses, kick it. He can't do any of them. He hasn't got a tick in any of those 3 boxes. So at that point, see you later. I didn't enjoy that, Barry. And the other, actually, we can take one positive out of it. Because I saw some West Ham fans on Twitter saying, oh, that was better. Where's that been all season? We were great. Photos of that fucking 19-year-old kid dog walking Bruno and Tonali and all that. I thought they were absolute shit. The fact that at 2-1 up, we still could have got something out of that game for the majority of the second half. Playing how we did illustrates how bad they were. They've scored the keeper's thrown one in, then an own goal, and then a 97th-minute bollock. And the fans think they were brilliant. We can make the positive out of this. They're home to Burnley next week, Baz. We fucking full fade on West Ham next week. So we will turn that into a positive, Baz. But yeah, that's me done. Anything for you?
No, I think you've covered it. The other thing, you mentioned the green shirt. The other thing you mentioned is you can tell within 10 minutes of a Newcastle game starting exactly how it's going to finish. And even when we went 1-0 up, it didn't change the fact the writing looked on the wall from the start.
And they got worse and worse as well.
It just went downhill. Chasing the game in the second half. I think we had 1 shot on target the entire second half. Didn't matter who they brought on either. Didn't matter what changes they made. I mean, Howe said himself he could have took anybody off at half time. It just happened to be Gordon and Voldemort that were the 2 to make way. But it was terrible. Pope, I don't know what he is doing punching that ball. It is literally just floating into his hands. And he just punches it out.
Was that worse than 10 seconds later when the shot goes in, though?
Well, that was terrible as well. I mean, it's always felt to me a little bit, since we signed Ramsdale, it was inevitable that Pope would start the season because they'll say he's earned that. But it also feels inevitable that at some point this season, it will change and Ramsdale will be the number 1. So it'll be interesting to see whether that game was enough for that change to happen now.
Ramsdale did catch the eye against Tottenham last week in the Cup, didn't he? Made some good saves, some sort of. We'll see. But fucking hell, it shouldn't. I don't know why it's happening. It's ridiculous. Big Tom actually made a good point, which I've never heard this level to a team before, really, is that they really, really miss the fullbacks. I've never heard anyone say, oh, they missed their fullbacks. It sounds nuts, doesn't it? Maybe like Robertson and Trent when they were in their peak for Liverpool. But they had so much swag game, whether it's any 3 of Trippier or Livramento. 2 of them are in the team, fine. Because not only can they defend, but they're dynamic. They offer so much going forward. Trippier gets a ton of assists. And then we're playing Emil Kraft, who 3 times a year they roll out and he's absolutely fine, but doesn't offer you anything going forward. And then Dan Burn, who's not a fullback, who gets away with it sometimes defensively. But a lot of the time he doesn't.
You lose so much attacking. You've got none of them overlaps at all from those 2 players, have you?
Yeah.
As I say, you've got that all game long with Trippier, Livramento, Warhol. You've always got that more attacking threat, and it did make a big difference.
So there you go. Get the fullbacks back, Baz. I wanted to mention Tottenham. When I handicapped their game last week, I remember I said I'm not sure how they're 3rd. I don't know where. I don't know if they borrowed some points off someone, because I haven't seen them accumulate enough points to be 3rd. I don't you just turned around and looked at the league table and said that's not right. That's a typo. And then they were dog shit again the other night. We watched them big dog shit at Newcastle. They were terrible against Chelsea. Now, they always get humped off Chelsea traditionally. That's just what they do. But then you see the red flags of Spence and Van de Ven just blanking the manager. And I don't know what all that's about. So I thought Tottenham were a concern, like Baz.
Yeah, as you say, definite red flags when you start seeing the player reactions and things like that. Because overall, it's been a reasonable start of the season. So if things are starting to get a little bit touchy behind the scenes, that's not a good sign. But yeah, I didn't catch that game because I was up in Sheffield. The two games I didn't watch was the two you mentioned, Villa and Spurs. Watched plenty of the rest, but didn't catch any of those, thankfully.
And the final team, I think it's worth mentioning, is Wolves, just because they did sack their manager. It's a good job they gave him that new contract, did it, 3 weeks ago, and then sacked him this weekend. I also saw Gary O'Neill was favourite for the job, which he's not now anymore, because they're still paying him from sacking him last time. Imagine if they'd given him the job back. So he'd get 2 lots of wages. He'd be getting his wages and his fucking compensation for when they sacked him.
I don't know what goes on these days, like, because I saw there's 2 teams have sacked the manager. Southampton was the other one. Southampton, the favourite is Russell Martin, who was the manager that just sacked.
Oh no!
No. And then Wolves have got Gary O'Neill favourite to come in. And then you look at teams like Sheffield United who sacked their manager and who they go to Chris Wilder. It's like you've already sacked this bloke once. Why is he going to be the man to save you this time? It's bizarre how all of these relegated sides all go back to the people who relegated them.
Yeah, it's not very joined up thinking, is it? Sunderland Everton tonight. Fucking Sunderland. Everton could have been 3 or 4-0 up in that first half. Everton battered them. Scored a goal, hit the post, missed. What's his name? Barry missed an absolute sitter. And then 1 minute in the second half, out of nowhere, they score massive deflection. And it was pretty even. It was equal Stevens after that. So 1-1 in that one. Didn't really do much for anything, well, apart from my little 5-1 tenner. Baz, rest of the Prem, did anything jump out to you?
No, I think we've covered the main talking points. We've certainly talked enough about Newcastle United, that's for sure.
Yeah, we have. Okay, then. We'll make some Champions League picks then for match day 4. Underdog is your home for pick'em entries. You can move to 5,000 times your money. Brand new offer. Play $5, get 100 in bonus funds. The code is SGPN. And Rhythm is crushing it in college football, NFL, and just added NBA. Weekly cash prizes for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets and you can win up to $1,000. Promo code is SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. Download Rhythm. Use the promo code SGPN25. Right then. Champions League, I've made 5 picks. I think you made 3. Obviously, Barry's on a 3-day week, as always. Tuesday and Wednesday, 8 games each evening, 2 early kickoffs. I will start, Barry, with... Right. There's no surprise in where I'm going to start here. I think everyone who's listened to the show knows I was going to end up at the 8 o'clock kickoff between Atletico Madrid and Union San Gilloise. Because why not, Baz? I can see you laughing already. Are you in there as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We really shouldn't have to say this now because we've been keen on fully fading San Gilloise because they were absolute dog shit against Newcastle at home, by the way. So if you want to fade them even more, having watched Newcastle play away yesterday, the USG form goes even further down the pan. This price is just about big enough. They've been fully humped in the last 2. Newcastle beat them 4-0. Did Inter finish 3-0 or 4-0
as well?
Was that 4-0 as well?
Yeah.
So 4-0 at home in the last 2. Atletico were well beaten by Arsenal. But the only comparison game, really, the only home game they've played is a 5-1 home win against Frankfurt. I think that is very comparable. I don't trust Atletico to run up a huge score. So I wasn't going to go Atletico team total. So I was just going to stick with a handicap. It's not a massive price. It's 7-10, minus 142. But Atletico minus 1.5 is the obvious pick, Baz.
It is indeed the obvious pick. I love this game. Actually, I thought the Atletico side of it was more than reasonable in terms of the prices, because Union have been poor after a good start in the opener. They've just lost back-to-back games 4-0. And they've given up an XG of over 3 per game so far in this competition. So given up tons of chances. Even in the game where they won, they beat PSV, wasn't it? I'm sure they give up an XG of about 2.5 in that game as well. And now they're going away to Atletico, who have struggled on the road. They've lost to Liverpool and Arsenal, but no such problems at home. 5-1 you mentioned at Frankfurt. And I think because they've lost 2 games, Atletico need a win here to improve their position. And at home, Atletico are a different beast. All their struggles have been away from home. At home, they've gone unbeaten in 12 games now. They've won 11 of those 12, and they've won 8 of them by 2 or more. Now, they are a short price at 1-4, but if you shop around, I found 4-5 with William Hill for that handicap. So -1.5 is 4-5 with William Hill if you want to shop around. It looks like a gift to me. That will be my main pick, but I don't mind going further. Personally, I think they can run up a score. Take them to win by 3 or more, so -2.5 on the handicap. So only just short of 2-1. Get around 9-5 plus 180. So 2 picks. Main pick is Atletico -1.5 at 4-5, but I don't mind them -2.5 at 9-5 also.
I've just actually vaporised Barry. If you're live, he's disappeared. Did I just vaporise you clean off the show there, Barry?
Yeah, as soon as you pressed that button,
my
connection was lost.
Might have to check the safety catch. I apologise for that, Barry. Just he's back anyway. You'll feel all right.
I ducked out the way quick enough. That's all right.
Yeah, you're very swift mover, Barry. Very athletic young man. That's what people say. Okay, I'll crack on then because I've just matched one of your games. Tuesday night, 8:00. Juventus taking on Sporting Lisbon. Juventus 9-10, -111. 5-2 the draw, plus 250. Sporting Lisbon are 3-1. Juventus only have 2 points, but the form line is decent. They had that nuts 4-4 draw at Dortmund. They had a 2-2 at Villarreal. And they were unlucky to lose the other game. They lost 1-0 at Real Madrid. They've won the last 2 in Serie A. Sporting have won 2 out of 3. The 4-1 win against Kairat doesn't really count. They're not a Champions League team. They lost then a comparison game. They lost 2-1 in Italy to Napoli. And they won 2-1 against Marseille. But if you remember that game, Baz, I covered that game and bet Marseille. And they were 1-0 up and cruising. Marseille were playing really well. And had the man sent off for diving right on half-time. Sporting come back and won 2-1. It was a false final. Absolute false final. Juventus are clearly the better team here. Better form line. I think this is Fulham, Palace and Brighton all over again. I'll take Juventus at 9-10 to beat Sporting Lisbon, Baz.
Yeah, I don't mind that one. I didn't pick that game, but I do like your pick and reasoning. Don't mind that at all. My next one's actually going back over because it's an early kick-off tomorrow. Slavia, Prague v Arsenal. And again, it's another one that might not come as much of a surprise to people. Arsenal have got off to a strong start in this. 3 wins from 3, 8 goals scored, no goals conceded. And Slavia Prague sit on 2 points from their 3 games. They had a 2-2 draw in week 1 against Bodo, one of the weaker sides in this. But then they have been shut out twice since Atlanta, 0-0, and they lost to 0 against Inter. I can't remember the score now. So failing to score in 2 games, and now shutouts are what Arsenal do best at the moment, isn't it? And at this stage, it does feel like a little bit of a cheat to keep picking this same pick with Arsenal for them to keep a clean sheet. But if you're going to keep offering close to evens for it, then I'm going to keep taking it, especially against a lesser side like Slavia Prague. It hit at the weekend again. It's hit in 3 in a row in the Champions League for Arsenal against tougher opponents than this. And it was just an easy pick for me. Arsenal win to 0 is available at 10-11. I'll just keep taking it at those sort of prices. So that's my pick here. Arsenal win to 0 against Slavia Prague, 10-11.
I completely agree with you. We sometimes talk about do you follow the board full of reds on roulette, or do you try and say it's got to come up black. But I think you're the same as me. I would always follow, and I don't know why you just wouldn't follow that trend. As you say, you're not following at 4 to 7. Do you know what I mean? If you hit 3 out of 5, and currently they're going along at more than a 60% clip. So I think you're absolutely fine. Like, don't mind it at all. I didn't do this game originally, and then I thought we probably should, because I forgot it was on. I missed it. It didn't jump off the page instinctively. When I realised it was on, I went back to Liverpool against Real Madrid, because I think it's worth covering. It's definitely the game of the week. And some line movement here. I handicapped this afternoon. Liverpool was 6-4 plus 150. They're now 7-5 plus 140. So Liverpool have backed in a little bit. The draw's 11-4 plus 275. And Real Madrid have drifted from 8-5 plus 160 out to 17-10 plus 170. You have to take Madrid, don't you? They've won 10 out of 11 domestically. They smashed Valencia 400 at the weekend. They've beaten Barcelona in recent memory. The Liverpool win against Villa was better, but it didn't do anything to convince me that they were all the way back. This is a team that have lost to Brentford, Palace, Galatasaray, all in the last 3 weeks, and they're favourites to beat Real Madrid. I just can't have it, Baz. I can't have it. It's a WTF. I've got to take Madrid at 17-10 plus 170.
It is a big old price. I dodged this, and I think probably part of that was because I didn't watch the Liverpool game the other day, so I didn't really get a feel for how much better they were or anything. But as you say, Real Madrid's form and the price, Madrid is an underdog given the overall form rather than just looking at what happened at the weekend. Sounds like a reasonable shout. Don't mind that one at all. My next pick is, and my final pick, it's going to be from Man City v Dortmund game. I'm just finding the prices now. Man City 21-50, so near enough minus 250. 4-1 the draw and 11-2 Borussia Dortmund. Two teams sit 6th and 7th. Both had a good start. Both unbeaten. 7 points each with 2 wins and a draw each. And in terms of goals, both teams have been quite consistent. City scored exactly 2 goals in all 3 of their games. They've had 2 2-0s and a 2-2. And Dortmund have scored 4 in all 3 of their games. That's pretty good, isn't it? 12 goals scored in 3 games for Dortmund. They've also conceded 7 as well. So 19 goals across the 3 games Dortmund have played in. That's the highest of any team in this competition. Frankfurt are the nearest, who, as we know, are an absolute madness every week in terms of goals. And I just don't see any reason why this one might be any different. City have just conceded in 3 straight games. I've done okay taking the City overs in both teams to score. Has done well for me because they keep conceding. So I'd fancy Dortmund to get at least 1. City's home form has been solid enough. They've won 5 games in a row recently at home and all by 2 goals or more. So I feel like they'll probably come out on top of this, but likely Dortmund will get on the score sheet. So City win and both teams to score wouldn't be a bad shout. But I am comfortable just taking the overall goals. Match total here, I think over 3.5 at 11-10 is worth a punt. That Dortmund form feeds into it. As I say, City have had enough goals. They're scoring at least 2 every time at home at the moment. So over 3.5 is going to be my pick. Over 3.5 goals at 11-10. But I don't mind a little punt. I mean, City will concede most weeks at the moment. I don't mind a little punt on Dortmund getting 2 of them. 5-2 for Dortmund to score over 1.5 goals. But my main pick here will be over 3.5 goals at 11-10.
I had Bournemouth to score 2 in my Yaka yesterday and easily could have done. Absolutely easy. Haaland was absolutely fucking incredible. Like, the minute he went clean through for those chances, you just knew he was going to score. Like I say, that bet that you've just picked, the over 3.5 cashed within the hour, could easily have been more. It just sort of fizzled out a little bit towards the end. But yeah. I've got an underdog of the week here. I wanted to pick an underdog. And this is a fade of Galatasaray away from home rather than a pick on Ajax. Ajax, Galatasaray is Tuesday night. Is it? No, it's Wednesday, actually. Ajax 9-4. plus 225. 29-10 plus 290 the draw. Galatasaray 21-20 plus 105. You just can't take a Turkish team away from home in any European competition. It's not so they never, ever, ever, ever win. Like, they just can't do it. They beat Liverpool. It's fucking Newcastle home and away. Like, you just can't do it. So, as much as I've been quite keen on fading the Dutch teams, I actually got no points. They lost the 3 games by an aggregate of 11-1. But you can mitigate last time out. They got a first half red card against Chelsea. And they had one home game against Inter, which wasn't terrible. Inter scored just before and after half time. 1-2-0. But Galatasaray won't play anywhere near to that level. It doesn't matter who's at home, you can't take Galatasaray away. It's just not a sensible course of action. So I thought Ajax had to be valued at 11-5 plus 220. And I've got one other game. Go on, Baz. Sorry, were you going to say something?
No.
I thought you put your hand up there.
No, you fire into it.
Is Marseille another team I've been sweet on? I faded Sporting Lisbon on this show and wanted Marseille. I haven't watched the first half of that game last time. I've watched Marseille a few times, actually. I did them against PSG in the league. Marseille take on Atalanta on Wednesday. They're 11-10 favourites, plus 110. 14-5 the draw, plus 280. And Atalanta 9-4, plus 225. And this is another one. We're getting the better team at home. I'm going to stick with my form reading of Marseille and try and get some compensation for that defeat in Lisbon. They lost 2-1 in Real Madrid. Were very unfortunate, actually, in that game. Played well. They got a 4-0 win over Ajax, very comfortable. And then they had that game in Lisbon. Added to that, the Atalanta form line's not strong at all. Lost 4-0 in Paris, which isn't a mild... Paris and Marseille neck and neck in the French league. So they've lost 4-0 in Paris. They bruised 2-1. And then they've got a 0-0 home draw with Slavia Prague, which is weak form. They're 10th in Serie A. They've only won 2 of their 10 games. Too many draws. 2 wins and 7 draws from their 10 games. Marseille, eye test, were very, very good in that game against Lisbon. They sent it off completely and utterly changed the game. So I think it's priced up more on where they are in the table rather than how the two teams are doing. Danny agrees that 11-10 is a big price. And I think, Baz, that's me done. Anything else from you?
No, in terms of Champions League picks, that's it. Only 3 from me, but I love them all. So that's all that matters, isn't it?
Coasty saying Galatasaray's last away when it was at Old Trafford in 2023. I think it was 20%, I think, clip in Europe. But that probably involves them beating the lost city of Atlantis in the Conference League and some sort of dog shit over the last few years as well. The Greeks and the Turks just don't travel past in Europe. So, yeah, I don't mind my picks. Never mentioned Newcastle v Bilbao because Newcastle are on the naughty list after yesterday, but I'm looking forward to it. Taking Betty, she drafted Bilbao this time, leaving Bob with PSV. I think we're on 6 points now with a decent goal difference. Big game for Newcastle. I think get that win.
And Bilbao are there for the taking. I think it's one at home. I would be hopeful we would certainly put up a better result than we did at the weekend. But I'm confident. I think we'll do okay in this one.
Danny is asking about kick-off. Sorry, Danny. Yeah, just a little bit of housekeeping. Still half-time. The players are out on the pitch, though. Just go, when the bloke puts those cones down, when they come out the tunnel, some fella puts 6 cones down, and you have to do that with your feet really fast. Because if you don't do that, you'll not be ready for the second half, Barry. You'll get injured. You'll get beat. It'll be fucking chaos. You have to do it twice. You can't just do it once. If you do it once, you'll get injured and lose. So the bloke's putting those cones out for everyone to run through really fast twice. And then, and only then, will be kick off the second half. Fefwef reckons Galatasaray definitely won't lose to Ajax. They will, man, you divvy. Baz, do you have anything you want to tell the people before we let them go?
No, I feel like I should have something to tell the people, but I can't think what it is. So no is the answer.
Okay, good.
Have you
Andy
got
Williams
anything?
turned up. Andy Williams furious there's no kickoff. Andy, when your team turns up in a local derby with a matter of national pride at stake, get humped and don't pick a yellow card up doing it. I don't want to hear any of your shit. You're banned from talking on here for 3 months until you sort that out, so I'm not buying it. Okay, then. Well, Thursday night for the pick show, Baz, you reckon?
Thursday night, yes.
Well, I've no MLB now. The world is my lobster.
I might be gigging Thursday night, but I'll be back at some point. I might be going to see the Little Comets. Can you remember them?
Oh, yeah. I love the Little Comets, Baz.
Little Comets. They're playing in Nottingham in a little bar in Nottingham. So I'm going to relive the old days. Not seen them for years, but
yeah.
I'm going to go down and catch up with them.
They're not still called that? Didn't they change their name?
No, there used to be a band. They used to have a name before that.
Right.
The Little Comets, yeah.
Yeah. The BRIT British Isles, Baz. Absolute classic. Oh, yeah. Just have it on my iPod all the time. Right. Thank you, Barry. Thank you, everybody. We might be back on Thursday if Barry gets home. That's the plan. Good luck with your Champions League picks. Enjoy all the football, and we will see you down the road. Cheers.